get started then. We'll make sure we edit this first part out in the recording. So thank you guys for being here. We every quarter we host a profit share specific class or gathering called our Profit Share Mastermind. Get people in the mix and in the know about profit share, or support their profit share goals and their profit share growth. I am very passionate about profit share personally, because I think it is one of the huge cornerstones of our culture. For us to be successful in profit share, we have to be transparent as a company. We have to treat people equally and fairly, and we have to operate from a mindset of abundance. And I think when those three things are firmly in place with anyone's business or anyone's life, including all the way up to our brokerage, the success is all but guaranteed, and the culture is strong. So what I wanted to do today was just walk through, hey, what exactly is profit share? How does it work? How do you develop a plan for it? How does your actual profit share tree grow? And then talk about actually growing it, right? Because I think that for a lot of our agents, right, and a lot of people that have any association with Keller Williams or know anything about Keller Williams, there can be a lot of stories told about profit share. Is it real? Is it a pyramid scheme? Is it this, that, or the other thing? And what's really important is, if we don't know our story and we can't tell our story, the best thing that happens is it never gets told. The worst thing that happens is it gets told by somebody else, right? And we don't want anybody else telling our story. So one of the beautiful things about profit share is it is a passive income stream. You don't invest anything up front. You don't put a down payment. You have no legal obligation. You have no, you don't have to cold call if you hate cold calling. You don't have to do any of that. And it's truly a passive income stream. We're going to talk more about that later. And here's what's great. When we think about growing our profit share, there are a lot of winners, right? One, you and your family win. It can be an incredibly lucrative opportunity when it's done consistently and done from a place of care, concern, and contribution. Our market center wins because we get to be in business with more great agents. And I want to be real clear. We as an organization have massive goals, massive organizational goals. And the only way that we'll ever achieve them is if we stay in business relationships and grow business relationships with more great people. So everybody on this call qualifies for that. And I know that we will continue to do that. But the market center wins whenever, a high values, strong operator like Quan Brown is inviting people who he knows, likes, and trusts to learn more about Keller Williams. I wish I could be in business with 10 Quan Browns, right? And so why wouldn't I? Well, profit share actually allows the market center to benefit in a great way, and in some way, shape, or form do that when we get to be in relationship with the people that Quan's in relationship with. And then, of course, that makes KW even stronger. So, Keller Williams is the largest real estate company the world's ever known. And we want to be the biggest, we want to be the best. And, when we get to be a great market center and we get to lead from the front, we can help the rest of the world get in line. So what I want to do is, when you start thinking about profit share, it has to be about helping people. And it has to be about building relationships and leveraging those relationships. But, if I told you that just over 40% of all the money that any agent pays to Keller Williams goes back out in profit share, right? That's pretty amazing. It's about $7,500 out of the $18,000, right? That goes back to the agents, right? So that's how the whole market center wins, and everybody wins as a result of profit share being strong. So, just think for a minute everyone on this call is in production. Some of you are cappers, some of you are nearly cappers, or you'll be cappers in just a few minutes. I want you to think about, like, hey, if I had a person that named me as their sponsor, and we'll talk about what all this means in a minute. But if I had another $4,000 a year, right, passively for the rest of my life, and make no mistake, that number, right, $4,000 a year. If you needed that sort of, if you wanted to make that passively, you would need $100,000 invested into the market and returning a 4% annual rate, right? Which, a lot of people, some of you might have from your 401k, your retirement plans, you might have an investment property that does that, right? But the profit share market doesn't crash like the stock market does. Right. And your people in your profit share, they don't call you about leaky toilets or sewage backups. Right. So you're one relationship away from $100,000 asset. Right. Or that relationship is $100,000 asset, which is pretty magnificent. So think about what you would do with that. $400 is that's about $300 a month, $350 a month. That could be a car payment. That could be all your utilities. That could be, could be a Starbucks every day. There's a lot of things that you could do with that sort of passive revenue. So I think it's important to understand that. What do you want to do with that money? That could be marketing for your business, could be anything. So as you start this journey and you're like, hey, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get into a relationship with more people, I'm going to talk more about Keller Williams. What's the outcome? It's no different than the big why that you would put together for your business, and why you want to move from, selling 10 homes to 20 homes, or 20 homes to 50 homes. So just real quick, everybody in the Keller Williams ecosystem is in profit share. Anybody who joins this company as an administrative assistant, the transaction coordinator, a marketing person, every member of our staff, everybody finds their way to Keller Williams by somebody else, right? And this is a way for us to honor that relationship, right? So here's a little bit of the practical and tactical how profit share works. And there's a couple of really important things that I want to highlight. Whenever anybody joins the company, they name the person that was responsible for introducing them to Keller Williams, or getting them in relationship with the team leader, and ultimately being the trigger for them to find their way to the company. When that person closes a transaction, 30% of the commission comes out and becomes the revenue of the market center, right? So we run the company based on that 30%. And when somebody caps, they stop contributing. And that's an important thing to know. And then the market center is profitable. And then at the end of every month, we close the books, we divide up the profit, 52-48, and 52% goes to the owners, 48% goes into profit share, and that gets distributed to the agents in the respective downlines of the people who contributed company dollar, right? So we'll do an example of this here in a minute. But I want to make one thing really clear, right? And this is a common misconception, and understand this is what I mean when other people tell our story, is profit share is not an override on an agent's commission. You are not getting part of the agent's commission, right? And when somebody in your downline is selling, you are not taking their commission, right? The money that goes out as profit share is the owner's money that they are sharing with the agents in the company, right? It is not, and it is about profit. So the more profitable the market center, the more valuable profit share is. Everybody on this call right now is a part of the second most profitable company in Keller Williams. 6 months into the year, we've shared just under $600,000 in profit back to the agents, and we're the number 2 most profitable market center in the world. There's also no other market center in the world where more of the agent's money makes it back into profit share than here, right? That's because we have a very lean operation. We have great leadership. We have great culture. We have great partners in Cross Country Mortgage, Greater Metropolitan Title, America's Preferred Home Warranty, and Greater Metropolitan Management, those individuals, all those partner companies, all contribute directly to profit share, right? So whenever, and that's not the case in every market center. So I can get into the weeds a little bit here, and I won't, but I just want everyone to understand it's not part of the agent's commission, right? And the way I explain it is every business in the world runs the same way. You generate revenue, you pay for things as expenses, and what's left over in profit is profit, right? So every brokerage runs that way. There's only one brokerage that then has another step where they split that profit in half and give it back to the agents. And that's Keller Williams, right? And so if your market center is not profitable, there isn't profit share. And the promise of profit share and strengthening the culture through passive income doesn't exist. In our market center, it's alive and well. And what I want you to know is that it's only going to get stronger as we look out over the next several years and where we see opportunity. We want the amount that we give back to our agents to go up and up and up. I believe that we can get to a point where 100% of the money that an agent brings in or pays into the company goes back out in profit share. I think that we can do that. That's the goal. So one amazing thing, and I'm gonna call on some audience participation here, but you can vest in the profit share system, right? And so if you joined before April 1st, 2020, you vest in 3 years. If you joined after April 1st in 2020, you vest in 7 years. And what vesting means is you earn profit share for the rest of your life. You don't have to work here. You don't have to work in real estate. You don't ever have to sell another house again. You are vested, right? Your spot in the profit share organization is held forever once you are vested. And we have, as a company, we shared almost $1.3 million in profit share last year, right? And some of the biggest beneficiaries are retired from real estate. They don't sell real estate. And some of them don't even live in real estate. They live on a boat now, but they're getting a check on the 21st of every month, right? As a result of their contribution to profit share. So this is not, and this is what we mean when we talk about passive income. This is not, the more you feed it, the more it grows. But at some point, you don't have to do anything else, and you get this residual income forever and ever and ever. And one of the most amazing things about profit share is that it is willable one time, right? So that, wealth is good, generational wealth is better. And so, I think that, you see Nancy Emmerman's on this call. Nancy, just for perspective, I know that you're a major outlier, but how was your check today? What did you get?
$24,800.
$24.08.
24,800. I call it 25,000.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You get 24, you call it 25, and you spend 20.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, what's great is that no matter what Nancy's spot, now Nancy still sells. She's a machine, right? She has an awesome team. They do about $30 to $35 million a year. But if she didn't sell, that she retired, she left the brokerage, that money is still hers and it's still coming to her every month, right? The person who's above Nancy is her husband, Marty. The person that is above Marty is Jill, right?
Yes.
So, Jill has been retired from real estate for what, the last decade?
Yeah.
And she's a massive earner in the profit share, right? Now, yes. So let's talk about this. So that's the vesting. The willable piece is that, we know that Father Time never loses any battles. He's never lost a battle yet. And, at which time, we go from this life to the next, that profit share spot is held, and it can be willed. And what we recommend for most people is that are earning at a high level is it goes into a trust. And then that trust can exist in perpetuity to benefit specific individuals, such that all of the goodwill and contribution and the promise of profit share continues for everyone's families. So I haven't worked for every real estate company in the world. I've done a very healthy amount of research on all of them. Nobody's got that. Nobody's got it, and nobody wants to have it, because here's the thing: you can't start it this late in the game, right? We are very fortunate to have had this added into our organization in 1983, as a part of what we're who we would be and how we would deliver from a cultural standpoint. So that's the nuts and bolts of somebody comes in, they're going to name, we call them sponsors. You're going to name your sponsor, right? So when everybody on this call joined, they named a sponsor, and that person is, you would be what's considered in their first line. And then what your sponsor had a sponsor, and so you would be in their second line, right? And so this is or first level. So this is how your profit share tree goes. Nancy, you have what, 786 or 876 people in your profit share tree?
It's 800 and something.
Okay.
I also found out the number of where we are in profit share this year.
Okay.
It's 103,010.
Over 100,000 through the first half of the year.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. I mean, that really is just amazing. And so what's great is Nancy has about 20 people in her first line, but it's led to 800 people in her entire profit share tree. And this is an important thing, that the line around profit share is, if you grow it wide, time will grow it deep, right? And it's not, and I want to stress this, it's not about going out and recruiting 100 people and getting, everybody to every man gets a man, and you do all this. It's about building legitimate relationships and helping people. And then if they do the same, and they do the same, and they do the same, it creates an opportunity for the organization, or excuse me, for you to earn passive income in a big way. So focus on your first level. Now this is the money slide, right? So if you're like, hey, all that sounds really confusing, I don't know if I really understand how profit share works, but I know I want to be in it, because I want to be the next Nancy Emberman. That's awesome. I want you to as well. Do not feel like you got to go out there and recruit. It's not about that. You want to relate and refer. Let me recruit, right? Relate means just build a relationship, right? The agents you do deal with and your past clients. I mean, the number of people who are in this company because they bought a house from a Keller Williams agent, or sold their house with a Keller Williams agent and loved it so much that they decided to get into real estate. Those are the relationships. Like, you cannot do this at a high level if you can't do relationships at a high level. And we're going to talk about how to actually move the relationship into a higher level in just a few minutes. But then you refer, hey, Mike, would you mind giving Jerry a call? Or, hey, Mike, I just did a great deal with Nancy. Will you reach out to Nancy and invite her to our summer masterminds? Yeah, I would love to. That's a referral. That's all it is. You can send me a text message. You can send me an email. You can call me. You can do it a lot of different ways. But if you, have a good relationship with someone and you think they could benefit by learning more about Keller Williams, whether they're unlicensed, licensed, haven't done a deal, have done a million deals, it doesn't matter. If you think that they're better off here and that we should be in relationship with them, please go ahead and refer them to me. And then I'll do the recruiting, right? I'll do the nitty gritties, the evangelizing, the explaining the way the cap works and all that. All you want to do is be the person who has the relationship and makes them feel really good about building the big business. So where do you find the people? We just said past clients and people you're doing deals with, right? We do 4,500 deals a year. And I think the opportunity for us to be in a bunch of relationships is pretty easy, right? And this is the easiest conversation script. You just start the conversation because you're doing a deal with them. You set up a time to meet and you just ask them questions about their business and about real estate. Right. And this is the really honest to goodness, most genuine way to build a relationship that will serve you at a very high level, regardless of whether or not it ends in profit share. Set up a time to meet, ask them questions about their business, look for opportunities to help, ask them questions about their business, ask them to help you with stuff about your business, right? And that's going to build a relationship. And then what you do is, and you do this with another somebody you're going to deal with, is we have the most robust and effective training calendar in all of Northeast Ohio, right? Thank you, Carrie Mitchell. We have this massive asset. If you know your co-broke is looking to scale their business, they want to make their first hire, they need leverage, they don't understand how to get more leads, but we all have places in our business that we want to grow and develop. Well, you see something come on the calendar, all you do is shoot them a quick text. Hey, we're doing a thing on lead generation at our sales meeting next Tuesday. Do you want the link? That's it. They come in, they get plugged in, they get excited about their business and resources that exist. You get to know them, you help them, and then the relationship will naturally move from there, right? Just a couple quick tips is, as you get into a conversation and relationship with people, somebody might be like, yeah, I'm thinking about going to XYZ brokerage, or I'm looking at all these brokerages, whatever. Don't ever say anything negative about anybody else's company, the people that work there, or even if you've actually had bad experiences. Something I learned a long time ago, I'm very fortunate to have learned at a young age, is that, if you walk in somewhere and, if you walked into McDonald's and all they did was tell you how bad the hamburgers were at Wendy's, like you'd be confused, right? Because you're in McDonald's and you want to get a McDonald's hamburger and all they're going to talk about is Wendy's, right? Don't be that. Don't do that, right? And if you're ever tempted to, say it, just remember, what your mom said about if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And then just, connect with people, follow up, leverage command, put them in the database, put them on a neighborhood nurture, because they'll get it and they'll be like, oh, what's this? Oh, this is our software. This is how we use it. And that's the quick and dirty here, guys. And sorry we got off to a little bit of a bumpy start there. And I know I just buzzed through a lot of things pretty quickly. So I just want to pause and take questions, or, hey, can you explain, like, what is the level stuff again? Like it's all fair game. So what can I do? What questions do you guys have for me?
Can I give a recommendation?
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot of referrals of realtors, friends of people who wanted to look at real estate. So I didn't even go out and get them, like Rick Tannenbaum. A friend of his came to me and said, this is a guy who got downsized, and that's how he came to Keller Williams. And some other people, they came through other people, not me.
Yeah, that's Nancy, what you do really well, and what I think is, it's actually something that one of the many things that I've learned from you is you ask the question, not who do you know that needs to be at my brokerage, or who do you know, you say, who do you know that would be interested in a successful career in real estate?
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, there are so many ways, the average person knows 100 people, right? It knows intimately. And those 100 people all know 100 people.
Yeah.
So you're 1 degree of separation from 10,000 people. And if they want to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, you can help them. If they want to get started with a career in real estate, you can help them as well.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's very cool. But what other questions do you guys have? What other rumors or myths or stories have you heard about profit share? I think this is meant to just be for the next few minutes or so. We're just going to talk about, like, What do you want? How can I be helpful? Do you want to know what happens after you refer somebody? Do you want to know what happens when somebody joins? Do you want to know why sometimes you get profit share, sometimes you don't? What questions do you have? How can I answer it? Bob Zimmer on the call, ladies and gentlemen, just added another person to his downline today. They just came in and did paperwork.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, Morgan McLean.
Oh, good. I think maybe what might be helpful, I know that you have a new system or way of tracking. And I mean, I don't know if it's critical that I follow up with people on a regular basis, but I like to do it.
Yeah.
I like to stay in touch, and sometimes it'd be nice to have a list of people that are in the wings, so to speak, or
Yeah.
in the funnel. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that. I know you've got a new system.
Yeah, I mean, our new system is we've actually just started the leverage command as a way to do it. And, we manage people through the process, just like you would manage people through your sales pipeline. So we keep a list of people who are interested in real estate, but haven't started classes. And then they move on once they start classes to end classes. Then when they're interviewing with brokerages, they move to interviewing. And then when they decide that they're going to come do business with us, they apply. Now they've applied. Now they got to pass their exam. They pass their exam. We're in it to win it, right? And that's when we do their paperwork and bring them on. So it's no different than the sales pipeline. We have, so I mean, that's one thing. And so you can, if at any time anybody on this call wants to know, hey, I referred, Morgan McLean, where's she at in the process? I can pull that up in a heartbeat and say, Morgan is going to take her exam on the 19th, right? And we want to be very transparent because, Bob, you're right. Like, you want to maintain that relationship first and foremost because it's authentic and it's important to you and you want people to be successful. Secondarily, the process to get licensed, let alone be successful in real estate, can be a daunting one. It's 120 hours of classes and people have got life and life gets in the way and all of that just starts to compound. So I think hearing, I would love to hear from Bob Zimmer more frequently. Who would, right? And so if we can make that easier for you, I will absolutely be able to do that. Secondarily, we have a consistent communication cadence that goes out. So, if anybody is just in our database, we are sending them an email a week, just different piece of marketing, talks about our culture, talks about our training, talks about this and that. Whenever somebody applies, we get them into our study sessions. We start, and then once people have applied or once they've scheduled their exam, we start inviting them to all sorts of stuff, right? Like about 10 people that were at the summer mastermind event last week were people that are going to be testing in the next 30 days, right? So we start, we just start to incorporate them right away because here's the thing. I want to be in relationship with people for a long, long time. I'm not going to wait for them to pass an exam to start pouring into them. And so, I think if you were waiting to take the exam right now, you're probably hearing from us 3 times a week, right? Because we really want that relationship to materialize, and we want people to know that they're going to get help. We want them to know that there's a lot of opportunity waiting for them, right? And and quite candidly, it's the same for a licensed agent, right? I'm going to tell them about every event that we have coming up. I'm going to call them and check. I'm trying to get an appointment with them, sit down with them, talk to them, help them. And then, to the extent that, they need something, we're going to be able to serve them, which is going to allow them to see the value that we bring, before, during, and after, they're a part of our company. Guys, one thing that I'll say is it's incredibly important to us that we're a referral-based company. And what I mean by that is 70% of the people who join the company are referred by another agent inside the company. I think that's really important. And we want to keep it that way. We want to get it. I mean, hell, I'd love to get it to 100%, right? Why not? I think that when the growth of this organization is from the inside, it just makes the relationship stronger, right? That way, nobody feels like a stranger in a strange land, and nobody's treated like one either, right? You know, those two things go hand in hand. Like if you know you've got a battle buddy, you know you got a partner, you know you got somebody that is excited for you to be here. It takes one layer of pressure off, and it makes it that much easier to be successful. I believe. What else? What other questions, comments?
I just like to say, I think you do a heck of a job, because I do not recruit people in any way anymore. I just hand them over to you. I just say, you're going to meet a great person, and this is not for me to explain. And I do not explain anything.
Well, thank you very much. That's high praise. And, I always welcome the opportunity to help people grow their profit share in that way. And here's the other thing. If it's anybody on this call, if you're like, hey, I kind of want to know what you're saying. Well, I want you to be in the room too. I want to draft off of that relationship, right? Because otherwise they're going to feel like they're being sold on something. But when we can have an authentic conversation and I'm able to articulate what we do as a company, but they feel warm and fuzzy because they're sitting next to Denise and they're not alone and it doesn't feel like they're getting recruited. It's so much more in line with the way that we like to do business, And I know that, Nancy, Bob, you, Jade, I know have all been to career nights and seen the way that we articulate the experience and the opportunity. And I think it's really powerful that people see that agents are in the room. And I also think, hey, there's nothing wrong with reinforcing to yourself why you're here and what you love about the company. What else? I think it's a great point. That's a great point, Nancy. You could just introduce me, and I mean, it's my full-time job. One of my several full-time jobs. All right, guys. Well, if there's nothing else, like I said, we do these. We try and do a big profit share focus thing every 90 days. In October, we are bringing in Aaron Kaufman, who is the number one of the top profit share earners, but he's got the largest group of people in his first line. He got into Keller Williams, saw what profit share was, saw the reality of it as a means for making passive income and creating generational wealth. He's going to be in Cleveland, Ohio, doing an exclusive for us, talking about, one, the ins and outs and ups and downs of profit share, two, how he found his groove with profit share and why it became his one thing. And then finally, helping everybody else in the room activate opportunities for themselves through our company. So that's going to be a great event. That's going to be on, I think, October 26th. And we are going to have a real big time. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be awesome. And we will, we'll be excited to help everyone grow Nancy and Bob Zimmer like profit shares. Sound good? All right, team, that's all I got. I ain't got no more. I will look forward to seeing all you guys soon in the office on a Zoom or otherwise. Oh, you know what? I will see you all next Friday at our cookout at Edgewater Beach at the Pavilion. I'll be on the grill. Come see me for a burger or dog. All right, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.